Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new video, a new day of my life in Seoul. And as you have read by the title, I've already been here in South Korea for more than 500 days. So when I first came to South Korea, I had made a video about my first impressions on South Korea. If you haven't seen that video, please go and watch that first. I will mention it above somewhere here. A lot of my thoughts and impressions about the country have changed, and I've also got to learn about a lot of new facts about the country. Time flies. It feels like I just arrived here in South Korea like few months ago. I can't even imagine that I completed more than a year living here, and honestly, even after a lot of difficulties, a lot of things I have to do here living alone, I still love living in South Korea. So yeah, without any further ado, let's get into the video. And I would like to begin with the most common topic, which I think a lot of foreigners talk about, that is the cultural shocks. So the first cultural shock I faced is punctuality and time management. This is something I learned from Koreans. Koreans are the best. For a person like me coming from India, Mumbai, this was very difficult for me in the beginning to, manage the time, to reach on time. But here, Koreans are always on time or even before time. So I always have to be careful when I meet my Korean friends. The second cultural shock I would like to talk about is silence in the buses. So whenever you travel by the bus in South Korea, there is literally pin drop silence in the bus. Nobody speaks. Even if they want to talk, they would just like whisper even to the person sitting next to them, and nobody picks up the call usually while riding the bus because they respect the personal space of other passengers. So in the beginning of this year, my family visited me in Korea, and my father, he was shocked to see that how silent the Korean buses are, and I think he was the only one speaking loudly, and I always used to tell him, "Dad, please be quiet, please be quiet," and he used to be like, what kind of culture is this? But I have honestly grown to liking that culture. I like the silence in the buses. The third cultural shock I would like to talk about is the beauty standard. Oh my god, it is brutal. It can be very stressful for some people because Korea has made its own beauty standards. Like, you should have a small face, big eyes, long hair, fair skin. You should be, thinner. All of these beauty standards, I don't understand them, and sometimes even the older generation, I'm not only talking about the newer generation, try and put you through those beauty standards, and if you pass that beauty standards, you will be treated well, but if you don't, you will have some difficulty living here. So that is how important beauty is in Korea. Moving on to my second thought or my second impression is the food habit. Compared to last year, my meals have changed from no meat to all meat. This is how drastically I have changed. When I came here last year, I used to think that why do people eat meat? I mean, there are a lot of vegetarian options available in the world, but then once I tried samgyeopsal, I loved it, and after that there was no stopping me, right? So that's how and when I started eating meat. But honestly, you don't have any options if you're living in South Korea, because it is very difficult to find a vegetarian meal, a completely vegetarian meal, unless you cook at home. So you have to eat to survive, right? But I still cannot understand how people can eat thakpar, chokpar, sundae. I mean, please don't judge me, but these are my personal opinions. So even though I have started eating meat, I am not a completely meat eater. There are few kinds of meat which I don't like, and I don't understand why people eat. But yeah, that's how my food habits have changed. So moving on to the next one. This is something which I don't like about Korea, and it is the drinking and the clubbing culture here. The drinking culture in Korea is wild. I mean, Koreans can drink every day and still be fine the next day. That's how strong it is. When their kids come to a legal age of drinking, the parents tell their kids to sit with them and drink first so that they know their capacity before drinking out with their friends. I mean, It's so strange, right? It's very rare for parents in India to say something like this. There are a lot of rules and etiquettes while you drink in Korea with like your bosses or people who are elder to you. So if you are going to a bhaeshik is a company dinner, you have to follow a lot of drinking etiquettes in front of your boss. It is stressful. And clubbing can be dangerous in Korea. I've heard a lot of bad cases from people here, especially foreigners, like drinks getting spiked or people grabbing other people. So it's kind of dangerous to think about it and unsafe. This can be my personal opinion. I'm not saying that it everywhere it's dangerous, but I would just like to say, if you're in Korea and if you want to go clubbing, please go with a good group of people, a group of people whom you know very well, so that you will be safe. The next one, it's again the culture that has grown up on me and I love it, is the cafe culture. The cafe culture in Korea is so strong and huge. I think Koreans have mastered the art of making cute and aesthetic cafes. There is literally a cafe for every mood: study, date, cozy time, etc. And a lot of cafes operate 24/7, so you will definitely find people studying or doing their work up till late night, and I am one of them. And recently my current favorite hobby has changed to cafe hopping. So I think there will be a lot of videos coming up related to cafe hopping, so please be tuned. And since it's like the Christmas time right now in Seoul, all the cafes are decorated so beautifully in the Christmas theme, and I wanted to show it to you guys, so stay tuned. Anyway, so that was the cafe culture, and moving on to the next one, I would like to talk about people and making Korean friends. I realized it is somewhat difficult to make good Korean friends. I think it is difficult to actually be one of them. No doubt they are welcoming, kind, sweet, but at the end of the day, I think you will never be a part of them. It may be because of the cultural difference, or it can also be because of the language, but that is what I have felt. I mean, I have a lot of Korean friends personally, but I always feel that there is this some line which they don't like to cross. But again, yeah, this is my personal opinion and it can be different for different people, so please don't come on to me in the comment section that that's not true. But yeah, the sixth one is the couple culture. अब इसके बारे में मैं क्या ही बोलूं. I think if you are single in Korea, you will feel very lonely. I mean, yeah, that is how it is, and I don't want to talk a lot about it, but the couple culture here is so evident that you'll see couples literally everywhere. And it is very common in Korea to show PDA, like, holding hands, hugging, and even kissing. It was a new concept to me, but now I've grown used to it. So if I see a couple, I just ignore and walk by and just do my work. That's it. That's how it is, and that's how you have to do it. Trust me. Just don't get into all of that. Yeah. Okay, so moving on to the last one is speaking with Koreans. So this also I have learned over time. Basically, Korean language has a lot of tones. Like, for example, Panmar and Chondemar. So Panmar is like casual language and Chondemar is like a formal language. But Chondemar has a lot of different forms. Like, for example, you use ayo, oyo, you use simnida, simnika, then you use shipshio. So it's a lot, and it was very confusing for me in the beginning because I didn't know that how to use it and when to use it. So over these 500 days or a year, I've learned that you have to be careful when you speak with elders in Korea, because even though they will let go of you if you're wrong because you're a foreigner and you're learning the language, it might hurt their sentiments. So you always have to be careful while speaking. Yeah, so I think these 7 topics were the most important topics I wanted to bring forward. So I hope from this video you at least got to know something new about Korea, and I hope it was interesting for you to listen to it. And if you like the video, please like, share and subscribe to my channel, and also wait for the cafe hopping vlogs that will be coming in the later weeks. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram, because I make a lot of dance reels and a lot of short form reels, makeup reels on Instagram, and also my life in Korea reels. So please don't forget to follow me there. I will put the Instagram ID somewhere on the screen. And yeah, that's it for today. I'll see you in the next vlog. Until then, 안녕히 계세요.